Ladies and gentlemen, not sure if this thing working. Let me see here. I'm in my mobile office and my internet. I'm up under a tree, so my internet been struggling this whole time. So this might not be working. So I do not know if I'm on here or not. Let me see. This don't work. Let me see. So y'all could see me, huh? So I want to do a talks with Tony, go through a few talks with Tony for a little bit on here. Mm, let's see here. Go through a talks with Tony on the inbox. Kind of do this live, and then later tonight, I'm at practice right now, so I gotta go in a little bit. But later tonight, I will be doing just like a live Q&A for the Blessed Tribe. I think I said at 8:30 I'll be home, but until then, I'm gonna try to get some of the talks with Tony because I've been missing some of those. So let me see here. So we're gonna come on up on here. Let me see. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for joining me now. I'm gonna see if I can go in order with email, some of these emails. Let's see here. Hi, Mr. Gaskins. This says, not my season, but still wondering. Make sure there's enough detail. This is so weird for me. This is a little tough for me because sometimes people write me who 20, sometimes people write me who 50. So sometimes it get a little tough for me, speaking to such vast age differences. Just say, hi, Mr. Gaskins. I previously inboxed you a couple of months ago regarding a situation I had with my ex-boyfriend. I believe you titled the episode Young and Looking for Love. My question for you today is, why don't men approach me? So I'm gonna have to go to the next one because that's you can't really answer that. Um, this one says, the house, was it a mistake? Hi, Tony. I hope this email finds you well. I started following you in 2017 after a breakup. It wasn't until 2019 that I got serious about changing my life. I am doing the work and getting knowledge. I appreciate you more than you know, and I pray that God will continue to bless you and your family beyond measures. I would like to add that I have a wonderful life/relationship coach that I found on mymentor.life. However, I would like a male perspective on my current situation. Trish is her coach. Y'all could get on mymentor.life too now. My boyfriend and I have been dating approximately 15 months, about 6 months exclusively. He is truly a great guy. He's thoughtful, consistent, a believer, family oriented, etc. So far, he's been respectful in my request for us to wait for intimacy until I am ready. I recently purchased a new home. This plan was already in motion prior to me meeting him. I lived in my previous home, townhouse, for 11 years. I worked hard saving my funds for a down payment, getting out of credit card debt, etc. I disclosed my plans with him very early in us getting to know each other. The home buying process was tough with the current market. Finally, I managed to get under contract for a new construction in September 2021. Have I answered this question before? Because sometimes I be going through these and I get a little lost. Get a little confused. Let me come out a little bit up here. I disclosed my plans with him very early in us getting to know each other. The home buying process was tough with the current market. Finally, I managed to get under contract for new construction in September 2021. I sold my townhouse in the same month, too. I was able to put down a nice down payment on my new home. I was misplaced for approximately a month until my house was completed in January 2022. I stayed with my sister and her family who lived close by, approximately 2 hours away from him. I visited him on the weekends and we spent holidays together. My current home is approximately 45 minutes away from him. We discussed the distance but agreed that we will make it work. He helped me with moving in, which I truly appreciated. He's been so supportive throughout this process. Lately, he's been making comments about the distance. Also, he would comment on how bougie I am with my high end appliances. LOL, Whirlpool is not bougie to me. He even started talking about making upgrades to his home as if he's competing with me. I actually like his home. My family and friends told me he would change once I moved. They told me that he would start getting distant physically and emotionally. I will admit that he is acting rather strange now. I am 42 years old and he's soon to be 40. We both expressed a desire to marry when we first met. After a year or so of dating, I know that I would marry him if he asked. I told him that homes get sold every day and that I am willing to compromise on where we would live should we marry. Interesting, there isn't much conversations about the future now. I feel like I screwed up with this decision. Did I make a mistake buying this home? Is it going to cost me this relationship? What does he think of me? Thank you for your time and consideration. Now listen, I feel like I might have seen this before, but I don't know. But it's kind of hard to say if you made a mistake. But from a male perspective, yes, from the male perspective, you made a mistake in the sense of the man wanting to build with you and wanting to, if y'all gonna go somewhere together, do something together, and you had a townhouse already, you know, why buy a whole house, get all these appliances, do all of that if you've been dating for, a 15, no, a year, no, yeah, dating for 15 months, but it's only been 6 months exclusively. So to the man, it says you building your life outside of him, you moving on outside of him, and then you 45 minutes away. So it does imply that he's not really a factor. And it was something you wanted to do. It was your dream, something you wanted to make happen, but it sends a message. And so one of the things we got to realize is that the American dream might be your nightmare. And so one message I'll say, just unrelated, is we got to stop feeling like, buying a house is everything in the world, and that means success, or that mean we've made it, especially when we want to settle down with somebody and be married, because you could buy a house and the market could crash, and now you don't want to sell that house because you might be losing 20,000, $50,000, and so now you keep the house and now you paying a mortgage on a house, but yet you living somewhere else and got to be paying bills over there too. Whereas when you renting, so if you're not where you want to be, then we shouldn't make permanent decisions. Now, a home is not permanent, but it's pretty much, it could be almost permanent, just because of the fact that you never know how the market gonna go. And a lot of people say a home is an asset, but a home really can be a liability too. And especially when you got a mortgage, because the way a mortgage is set up, them payments, you paying so much interest in the front end, that 30-year mortgage, you be done paid twice what the price that you got the house for. So if you single, this for the singles, If you're single and your goal is to be married, and you don't know where that marriage is going to take you, you don't know who that marriage is going to be with, don't get pressured or feel like you unsuccessful because you paying rent. Because even when you buy a home, in a lot of ways you paying rent, because you paying so much interest on them payments, so much of it going to interest for the first 15, 20 years of that 30-year mortgage, that you really ain't paid down much of the principal. So if you move in the first 5 years, 3 years, you just made all interest payments for the most part. And then so when it's time to sell the house, you really ain't got too much equity unless the market done gone up. And then you up and then moving. Now you got to move all this stuff. You got to go through all of that. So it's kind of like, if earth ain't your permanent place, we don't want to store up too many treasures on earth versus storing up in heaven. So if your relationship status is not your permanent status, then you don't want to make super big decisions if you feel like in the very near future you expecting a change or a breakthrough. Now, if you expecting to be where you at for 10 years, then that's different. But it's a lot of hype buying a house. It's a lot of hype. You know, I own a house and I've owned other houses. It's a lot of hype. So for y'all singles, don't feel like you missing nothing if that ain't what you want to do right then. I wanted to buy, but you said months ago to just wait and get an apartment on the waterfront. Yeah, I'm telling you. That way you could move around every few years, when you single. Like, I was talking to my homeboy today, and he's single, and he say he like to move every few years. Well, if you got buy a house, it ain't gonna be that easy. Right now things seem to be good, but that ain't always the case. Let me see here. And next question. Hi, Tony. First, I want to thank you for your content. It is very insightful. So, I have a very strange situation. A guy and I had been communicating with a guy and I had been communicating with on and off social media and via text for a little while. After he shot his shot in my DMs, we had planned to meet, but the day before, I reached out and he never responded, so I decided to delete contact. I was a bit salty about it, but decided to let it go. And one day, while washing the dishes, I had a random but positive thought about this person, even though my previous thoughts about him were not so positive. And when I checked my phone, I received a text message from him. I thought it was weird, but I was curious, which led me to communicate with him. We would just have small talk from here and there, and we aren't friends, mostly just strangers slash acquaintances. Fast forward, and I re add him on Snapchat, etc. And I was disappointed because he seemed to be someone that I'd have many things in common with from face value, but the situation wasn't going anywhere. I decided to finally let go of my curiosity about this situation and forgive myself for putting too much stock and my hope in potential. I had a private conversation with God about it, and within the same hour, I received a text from this person again, although it had been a while. At this point, I feel like I am being hoodwinked, or the devil is listening to my prayers and somehow whispering to this man every time I am deciding to let this person exit my mind for good. Of course, since the communication is so sporadic, I eventually end up forgetting about this man, but I randomly started thinking about him again. And one day I had a thought about the person texted me that and brushed it off because I was tired of wondering and the mind mystery behind this individual. I had just already come to the conclusion that this was just some weird experience. It felt like a strange case of deja vu. I began to become annoyed because I was beginning to think about the person again and wondered, Lord, why is this person on my mind? I just said, Lord, I don't need him, and was still hoping for the best for this person. And within that same day, if not the same hour that this person was finally exiting my mind, he texted me, probably within the same hour. I wasn't checking my phone. It is so strange, Tony. I'm not really interested in dating or anything right now because I am focusing on my love for Christ and self love, but it just seemed to be a very strange, supernatural type experience that I really can't even explain. Now, some of y'all have heard, stuff about this right here, and just about I believe it was Bob Proctor who talk a lot about just the mind waves and the frequency. And I don't know if it's telekinetics or physics, something. I was talking about it one time, and a guy put a name to it. But that happened to me all the time. This right here, that happened all the time. And one of the things that we gotta stop doing is we gotta stop thinking everything is spiritual, in the sense of, or everything is a sign. Everything is spiritual because we are spirit having a human experience, but feeling like everything is a sign. Because it is said that the way Bob Proctor teaches it, he says the way your telephone, you pick up your telephone and you could call somebody in China, and that just sent a signal down the line, down this phone lines and bouncing off all this stuff, and then this person's phone rang in China a few seconds later. The way he described it is that's the same way the mind work. And so a lot of times I will have a thought about somebody, and I'll wake up the next morning and they text me. So it's a lot of power in the mind that we can't really describe. It's words and teachings about this stuff, but there is power. That's why the Bible says, such as a man thinketh, so he is. There is power in our mind. And a lot of times if you spend some time thinking about somebody, a lot of times they thinking about you. And I don't understand it or have an explanation for it, but just to understand the spirituality and how God created us before a telephone was in existence. I would imagine before telephones, you think about somebody the next day, they might walk over to your house and say, "Hey, I was thinking about you yesterday, wanting to come visit you." And so God might have just put that in the mind for that reason. So there's some is, it is deep now, but you can't take it too serious if you know somebody is not for you. Uh Now this here ain't got no title to it. Hey, Uncle Tony, so my husband, now separated, wants me to split with him on the divorce process, which I refuse. He said that we should come to an agreement on the amount we'll both have to give to the lawyer. What bothers me is the fact that he couldn't find the time months ago to come to an agreement with helping with the kids. We have two kids under 4. Financially and or physically, he said he needed to get himself together first before he could have spoken to me about the kids. I then had to put him in court in order for him to give me funds for our kids every month. But so ironically, he could find the time now to want to make an agreement on the money for divorce. What do you think? Thank you so much for always giving us your time and helping us women to win. Um, well, I tell you this. On situations like that, I say if you really want to be gone, then just bite the bullet and be gone. Just bite the bullet and be gone. And so sometimes it's better to pay for our freedom than to let somebody else be in control of our bail money. It's like if you got it, just go ahead and do it and get on out of it. Because while you waiting just for him to pay everything, you stuck in it. So, and just like with the kids, when you need to be free, you need to break free. You got to see your kids as 100% yours. If you got to create a side hustle, if you got to, work a little overtime, if you got to save more, spend less for your freedom, although it's not fair, you got to do it. And sometimes when you show a person that you don't need them and you're not gonna wait on them, that's what make them get their. But as long as they feel like you need them to make something happen, they got some power over you. So you want to think about that. Uh, Kia Bath and Body said, get your own attorney. That sounds like some good advice there. 1 in a million. Now this person wrote into the anonymous and put her name in the first sentence. Come on now. If I just was reading and wasn't paying attention, I'd have said your whole name on here and your co-workers on here. Oh, that's what she going through? Hey, Tony, God bless you. My name is such and such. I am 29 years old, will be 30 March 1st this year. That's this email old now, y'all. I'm behind on these emails. I am emailing you because I have been watching your videos for almost a year now. And with some help from you, I have definitely grown as a woman. I have grown definitely from this current relationship I have been in for the last 5 years. I have been with this man who is now 37, will be 38 in October. Oh, you 29. Okay, he about to be 38. I met this man one night through a mutual friend who has now been deceased 2.5 years. We met one night, and shortly after I left the country for a few months without saying anything about it, I came back, and that same day I got back to the US, I ran into him and we went to his spot again, and it was almost as if since then I never left. We have spent every day together, unless one of us had gone to jail. Y'all spent every day together unless one of us had gone to jail. That, that's a little interesting. About a year into our relationship, I found Jesus Christ and received him as my personal Lord and Savior. And I grew out of the street life and going to jail and the lifestyle along with it. Although it seems street life is all he's known, he always respected our relationship, and I never caught him cheating, only texting a woman or two a couple years ago. Recently, I have been distancing myself because we became homeless and he became real violent, and it's been like that since then. It breaks my heart and has destroyed my attraction to him, especially in bed. I can't enjoy myself or feel like I'm not good enough or please him. I recently started working and got us a room for rent, but he hasn't got no job yet, and it kills me because he had an inheritance from his dad, $10,000 last year, and blew it on God knows what. He has no car, no home, no new clothes, and he did the same thing again a few weeks ago with the other 10,000 he got from his dad. I had to go work while sleeping outside, and him ghosting me for 3 days. He listens to me he listens with me to your videos sometimes, and you have helped him a little, but I just don't know if I should stay after so many years and I'm getting old, or should I stick it out? Getting old. You 30 years old. Nah, listen. I try to help everybody, but I struggle a little bit helping. I struggle a little bit now with a man who in the street life and homeless, because I have to be very careful what I say, because I don't know how he feel about what does he have to lose. So if I say the wrong thing and he lose you, and he homeless, and he done got $20,000 from his daddy dying, and he done blew through that, I just don't want the man coming for me. You see what I'm saying? Let me see. What? Y'all gotta forgive me. Wife trying to book flights for us. Doggone Delta tripping. And so yeah, sister, let me see now. And it's been a while for the last 5 years. And y'all out there like Bonnie and Clyde. You say we spend every day together except for when one of us go to jail. Now that throwed me off there, sister. That throwed me off. So I'm just curious, just what y'all got going on that y'all were going to jail, and then y'all go from going to jail to being homeless, and then you go and get a job. So sister, listen, I really in situations like that, it ain't really much I could say because that brother ain't got nothing to lose. So you got to choose. That's a personal choice right there. Cause a man down like that, a man down bad like that, ain't no telling what that man will do. You leave him. Sister, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. My goodness. But you got the internet? Cause you emailing me. So where you get the internet from? If y'all homeless, I guess it's a data. This a data plan. God bless you, sister. Hey, keep your head up. Keep your head up. You found Jesus. This a Hispanic last name you got. So y'all ain't in the cartel and all, cause the cartel got money. Mm. God bless you, sister. God bless. I'm praying for you. Bless tribe. Lift up. Y'all lift up in prayer that the Lord could deliver. Cause the title of this email is One in a Million. I don't think he one in a million, sister. And then if you 30 and he 38, he about to be 38 in October. He 37. He's 7 years older than you. And he's still going through bouts of homelessness after getting $10,000 drops of money. Yeah, sister, you might be barking up the wrong tree. God bless you now. God bless you. Mm, okay, internet cafe. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since she made in. I sure hope she done made the right decision. God bless you. Now this one here is from one of our people in Africa. This an African name. I need to get my African name back. Try to call me Tony. My name is Kunta. Get my name back. This is somebody over in Africa. Hi, Tony. I am 23 years old and I'm really struggling with the reality of my life. This y'all be me with this. Y'all be this social media here. Y'all be 16 and a half. Tony, I just have not hit any of my goals and dreams. I'm ready to be married and pregnant, and I just can't find myself. It's like, listen, y'all cannot take y'all self that serious now. That first sentence just throwed me off all the way off again. Hi, Tony. I am 23 years old and I'm really struggling with the reality of my life. I graduated from university last year and I've been looking for employment for the last 6 months. It is really difficult. It is a really difficult time financially. I have received job offers, but those men want me to be their side chick in exchange. I have offers from well off men all the time wanting to be my sugar daddies, but I refused all of them. My morals and values will not allow me to give my body to men in exchange of money slash opportunities. I listen to your videos all the time for encouragement to do the right thing and stand firm in my decisions. It gets difficult at times because I question if having morals is even worth it, especially in this generation. It seems like everyone who is just living wild and carefree is succeeding. I ask people in my life, and they all tell me that I'm young and should stop being uptight and to loosen up because it's just sex. No big deal. Am I doing the right thing? Please help. Lord, I don't know if y'all ever see or realize why I be needing a break from these talks with Tony. Cause these be some questions. I'm telling you, these really be some questions. Sister, you definitely living in another country, and this look like an African name. I don't know if you're in Africa or somewhere else, but I know this ain't America because we got the Me Too movement. If a man try you like that in America, you gonna have so much money from that company. That company gonna be paying you the rest of your life. So you somewhere else. Well, it ain't y'all ain't got no Me Too movement yet. But I'm gonna tell you, sister, what I say in a situation like this, you need to go to a bigger company. You need to go to a corporate with checks and balances in place, not these middle of the way companies, not these smaller companies, not these startups. And if it's still like that, you might need to start your own company. You might need to start your YouTube channel. You might need to start your sewing business or your cooking business or your drawing business or your t-shirt line. You might need to tap into your creativity and start your own thing and trust the blessings on you. I ain't got much longer, y'all, because my wife told me to get some food for my sons before I pick them up because Tatum got testing. He doing his standardized testing right now, so he need to be able to get home and get straight to bed. But I'm gonna be doing a Q&A answering y'all questions later, Lord willing. Lord willing. And Lord willing. This one is toxic family members. Hi Tony. Let me see how long this is. Hi Tony, I just wanted to get your opinion on this subject. I am a 66-year-old female. Now y'all see what I was just telling you about? It's really hard now for your mind to talk to a 23-year-old and then the next email talking to a 66-year-old. And this because it's difference in the generations, you know. I wanted to get your opinion on this subject. I am a 66-year-old female. I am the youngest of all my siblings, so I grew up in a different generation than my older brothers and sisters. This is kind of hard to explain because this email would be too long if I went into details. However, this is mostly about my oldest sister and also her husband. My mother and father are both deceased now. Most of our relationship as siblings was through my parents until they got sick and was not able to take care of themselves. That is when all the biggest problems between us started. She was always on me about not doing enough to help her take care of my parents. I had always done things for my parents, especially when I was still single and living at home. I did all the little things nobody else had to worry about. Once I got married and moved out, I had two young children to take care of also, plus a full-time job. She was retired and her children were adults. Y'all got to forgive me. My wife texted me trying to book flights, and I'm up here multitasking. Once I got married and moved out, I had two young children to take care of also, plus a full-time job. She was retired and her children were adults, but that's not the whole story. Now that I am divorced and I have a life of my own to live, I still feel like she is trying to control my life as if I am still a kid and does not have a mind of my own. My brother in law even puts in his 2 cents on things that my sister speaks about. Please understand, usually it is nothing major for them to speak on, but just wanting to be in my business. I think it's because they don't have anything else to do. They sit home and look for everybody else to call them, visit them, etc. I don't mind doing that at times. I am really easygoing person. I have been a people pleaser all my life, and in my older years, I have tried to love myself and do things that make me happy. I get the impression that because I don't have a husband, they feel that it's okay to have a say in what I do and when I do it. Example, if she calls and I am sleeping later than they think I should sleep, I have common sense. I know when I am ready to get up. I know it sounds petty, but that is only one example. Also, some serious things that happened in my life were a source of jokes for them. Please give me your take on this. We all grew up in church and we know right from wrong. This one of the things that bind a lot of people, and that's family members and toxic family members. But one thing I'm gonna tell you is blood. Somebody being your blood don't mean they get the right to drive you to an early grave. And I give anybody my behind a kiss. It don't matter who it is. If somebody can't respect and appreciate your peace, then you got the right to tell them to kick rocks with open toe sandals. And so, but what you do to not be confrontational with this is just don't answer the phone so much. Be busy. And what you can do is you can let them know, hey, I'm about to work on a project, a big project. So I'm going to be out of reach and out of touch a lot of times because I'm going to be locked in and focused. Your big project is working on your happiness. They ain't got to know that. And so what I start to do with people like this here, they'll text today. I won't respond for 2 days. Then I'll text them back, hey, so sorry, miss your text. Because I've been busy working on me. They'll call. I can't call. I don't answer the phone and text them back, hey, can't speak right now. Text me. And so you got to stop being available. You got to stop being accessible. And when you get a little distance and they keep talking, that's all they is. They jealous of your youth. They jealous you 66 and they whatever age. They jealous of your freedom. They jealous of your ability to be able to move and shake. And when you ain't got nothing going on in your life, you want to make other people life your business to give you something going on. So you're already pegged it. You just got to find a way now to not be as accessible, to not be there so readily available. So hey, y'all, I got to go. My wife need me to move some things around. Oh my goodness. And this is what I try to tell y'all, man. Life ain't, man, listen, this life ain't easy. So here we is. My son get a grant from MIT, but the 3 flights for me, her, and Tatum to go up there with my son for the presentation of their invention is over $5,000. And Delta anking up, the app keep crashing. She went on the app and the thing say the flights, round trip flights, is gonna be $4,600. Old raggedy app wouldn't work, and then went on the computer to look up the flights, and it done went up to 5,600. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I got to be putting out fires, and so I'm gonna tell y'all, when you the head of the household and you got to, make these things happen, it's a lot of stress come with that. And a lot of women want a husband, and a lot of women want a husband that could provide. But let me tell you, that providing ain't easy. Because now this extracurricular. And my son, they school already costs over $30,000 a year. Then the club that he in didn't have the money to get the kids up there. So I had to go on my network to get an investment of $6,000, a donation of $6,000 that they needed. That was from my network. And now it's about to cost me another $7,000 for me and my wife and my son to go up there. So I'm $13,000 in supporting my son opportunities. And listen here. So it's like when they say new levels, new devils, A lot of time we be praying for stuff on that next level, and we be praying for, oh, I want my child in a better school. Oh, I want my child to get this here grant. But to be there to support your child, it costs money. So on the daily, you put not fires. But you know what? As a provider and a protector, we not allowed to voice that stress that come with that. We ain't allowed to voice that. None of the kids wouldn't be going had I not raised the money for the kids. And I don't even know if I got a doggone thank you card. And right before that, I gave the school $21,000 to redo the bathrooms. And on top of that, the 30-some thousand tuition, now this 13,000 for this here thing. Y'all see how that add up? Taking care of family on this here level of schooling, which is the opportunity that you want. You want your child to get a grant from MIT and have that in their roller on their resume for college stuff. But that thing costs. And then he got a dream to be a pro soccer player. So 5 days before, we get an email that he get invited to Georgia. We don't live in Georgia. So now I got to make arrangements to drive him to Georgia and book a hotel. And it's like, these kids is expensive. And that's why I always shout out single parents. Single women or single men who they doing it without no help. You got to tip your hat to the single parents. And especially if it wasn't your doing that got you to be a single parent. Somebody sold you a dream and didn't cash in. But hey, I got to go. God bless y'all. And we'll talk soon. Lord willing, I'll be able to be back on 8:30 when I get home. But that's why I'm trying to tell y'all about my process and how I have to do stuff, because when you family, I'm sitting in my mobile office at my baby boy practice. But my oldest boy got practice at the same time at a different field. So I had to drive both of them to practice, but I had to take the oldest to practice at his field, drop him off 15 minutes early, then get the youngest to practice at his field. And I sit here and I got to work what I'm doing right now while the youngest is practicing. Now I got to get off to go get them some food, because my wife is real tired because she was out of town yesterday with her family member that's having health complications and is coming close to the end. And so she needed to go say her goodbyes just in case that's the case. And so she flew out in the morning, flew back that night, got back about 1 o'clock in the morning, then had to get up at 5 to take the boys to school by, she leave at about 7, but she get up at 5. So she tired, feel like she feel like she been hit by a truck today. So she didn't want to cook. And so I had to leave to go get the food, get back to get him. Then the other one got to wait after practice. When all the rest of the kids getting picked up, they going home. He got to sit out there like the homeless child until I get over there. And I'm going to be late to him because both of them practice on elite travel soccer teams at the same time on 2 different fields. And then I'm on here, doing this right here, what God called me to. And so that's why I tell people, that's why my block finger be working the way it worked. Because I already be on the edge when I get to read some comments. And if somebody come out the mouth slick, block, I'll be about to sprain my finger hitting that block button. I say, woman or man, do you know what the world I go through to make a YouTube video? So listen, hey, God bless you. Get your shirt that say blocked. It's up, should be up under the video. Hey, God bless you, and we'll talk soon. I'm on the computer, so I got to figure out how to end this stream. It's a little different than the phone. God bless you now. Oh, and for the Patreon, supporters, I'm doing a little production. With y'all support, gonna help me produce a little something that'll be on YouTube later this year. Keep your eyes open for it. We'll talk soon. Now, you don't know about it if you ain't on Patreon, though, but you'll find out about it.